Hello, everybody. It's my favorite Chargers fan here, me. Let me start this video off by saying I was born in San Diego, but lived in Texas most of my life, while my dad lived in San Diego. So being a Chargers fan made me feel close to home, and also felt like I had a part of my dad with me on the hard days. There was always one other Chargers fan in my entire high school, and we would always find each other in the hallway on game days and post-game days, chop it up like old friends. The Bolts and the Bolt fam that comes along with it really means a lot to me, and I'm not going anywhere when it comes to showing support. But that being said, Monday night's game hurt like no other, man. And the Chiefs game, not much better. I'm going to break down some of the things over time that just do not feel like they're changing, comparing this season to previous seasons, and just kind of speaking my piece on the whole situation. And we're going to be starting this with defense. Guys, I have been watching games for years, and the defense looks no different, man. Every third down for over a decade, I have been uneasy as all hell because this team never seems to get off the field. And I mean never. Whether it's the offense going toe-to-toe with Brady, or it's just the Chargers playing down to the Jets level on a Week 3 regular season game, you can never tell because it looks the exact same. I mean, is there anything different in any of these plays that I'm showing you other than names and jersey numbers? The defense looks hopeless out there. Whether it be 2004, 2008, 2015, 2018, or 2023. Oh, or what about this? The most famous defensive play that comes to mind when people think Chargers, in my opinion, if you're an old head. Now, this one's one of those moments you never forget. I was in my car near Panda Express, put the phone in my pocket because the game was won, and then it was not. Because Ray Rice greater than entirety of defense. I understand that penalties and being a young, undisciplined team is a factor, but by God, a 17% third down percentage on defense when you factor out penalties is exactly what it feels like when you're watching. Working against the numbers the entire way. I want to trust the process, but we have been through multiple changes in authority, and this problem has stayed with the Bolts like it is a staple of the brand, no joke. The scheme is not working, and adjustments need to be made if they're going to be anything like was expected at the beginning of the season. I know I was a bit optimistic, I understand, but I mean, to be nowhere near the start that I believe, especially with a loss to the Titans and like last night, if Staley's a defensive-minded coach, then let's see him whip that pencil around and help our boys get off the field, because it sure doesn't feel like we have one of the craziest D-lines on paper when you watch the games. All in all, this defense is going to be hard-pressed to reset the season, and honestly reset the history of the Chargers, with them being dead last in third down stops within the last 17 years. So that dates back to 2006, as well as being 29th in EPA. If anything, if we can just get to being at a midpoint of the league, this team is going to skyrocket. I can remember back to days where Philip Rivers would get on the field, put the team ahead with less than 2 minutes on the clock, and before you know it, he's out there doing a desperation heave within a minute. And while that's obviously not the only reason for the Chargers' struggles in the past, I'm starting to see a lot of similarities between him and Herbert. Now, onto the offense. It truly feels like the first drive of the game is planned, and after that, the plan is to rinse and repeat and let Herbie fully loaded figure it out. And the defense sure seems to eat that up on a silver platter, man. The amount of times I see the graphic with the first possession or second possession being a score and the rest of them being a punt or a turnover on downs is really disheartening with the amount of talent that's on this roster. And it speaks volumes that I believe the offense has, again, felt like this under multiple different signal callers and coaches. I think we'd all like to see us maybe pound the rock a little bit more, possibly, maybe with a big-bodied running back that Tom Telesco definitely picked up, since we've been needing one since... Oh wait, it's still Josh Kelly and Austin Eckler. Well, there's always next year? But in all seriousness, we haven't had a guy like that since I don't know when. The Chargers don't have to be synonymous with speed and brittleness. Let that pot melt, Tom. Why do we have to go for these interesting free agent signings and throw piles of money at them and not even try a veteran's minimum to some of these guys that could really try to get the defense honest at the goal line? Everybody knows, from the 20-yard line and in, Even if it could be a run, it's probably designed to lay to the flats or something to let Herbie figure some form of quick pass and crossing routes. We don't like that facet of the game for some reason.
A weird midpoint theory.
Can we please take the points, man? Oh my God, please, dude, I'm begging you to try it like one game, man. I'm super eating crow here because I was, and I'm admittedly still am a sucker for going for it on fourth. Even with me complaining at the beginning of this, I still find myself thinking, but man, what if it works? And I think it can be a real tone setter in certain games, especially versus a high-powered offense. But to gas the defense so consistently and recently put them on the 30-yard line early on in the game is a bit egregious, especially with the certain problems we're having. The matter being that the Chargers have lost small deficit games for the past 5 years. And it's just, and then there's Monday night's example, where taking a field goal within 40 yards would have set them up for overtime at least. Well, that's hindsight, and I don't want to regress to the Mike McCoy era where everything was minimal risk. Could we please stop running it further into 4-down territory as everywhere and anytime rabbit hole? Another quick point to add, we are in a losing record with games decided by 3 points or fewer. So just, keep that in mind. It's a weird line to walk, I'll admit, because it sure is exciting to watch them. Injuries. I'd like to also note that every team deals with injuries, but the Chargers in the past decade seem to drop like flies come the middle of the season. There's a major injury in like week 2 or 3, then come week 6, half the roster seems to be out in the past, knocking on wood right now. And we ride 2 players, of which one will get injured in week 3, thus condemning the already damned season. While the Tyrod Taylor situation was a fluke mistake that can happen anywhere, with the track record of this team, it really makes you wonder if the difference between weather in California and literally everywhere else has the effect on joints, bones, and ligaments, or if there's something else at play here. I don't really get it.
Hey, Bolt fans. Want more Chargers content? Or not a Bolt fan and want different football content? Go ahead and clickety-clack that subscribe button and slide on over to our channel for a unique take on all things football.
And to cap it off, no trust in the rookies? I saw the comments made about Quentin basically saying that he isn't ready to be the first read in this offense, and I'd like to disagree. In the era we are in with rookie production, this kid can be utilized for his strengths.
It is just a matter of the guys in charge doing so.
Why spend a first-round pick on the guy if you're not willing to try it out? We all knew this might happen. We are a bit of an injury-prone team, and I feel like this was a first-round pick for a reason.
Let's hit a quick Bolt throwback for you.
Keenan Allen should have been a first-round selection in 2013, but he dropped to the 3rd round, thank God. He was behind Malcolm Floyd and Denario Alexander.
Sidebar here, Denario Alexander was so good. I mean, imagine if this guy stayed healthy. 6'5" wide receiver for Phillip Rivers to throw to that has this dynamic of speed and ability. I mean, it's just a match made in heaven. Appreciate what all that season came from, Denario.
And it looked like he was going to have all the time in the world to get NFL ready. And we later found out that he even considered quitting the game because he was getting such little touches at the beginning. Well, longtime fans know how this ended. D.A., bless his heart, tore his ACL yet again, and 4 games into the season, Malcolm Floyd was donezo. Welcome to being the number 1 option, Mr. Allen, and boy, did he deliver. I'm not saying to throw him into the fire like our boy Keenan, because there's not many like that guy, but give the man a chance. He has it in him. Trust me, it can't make you as uncomfortable as you make us fans going for it behind the 50-yard line. If we can stand behind your gutsy call, you can highlight this man in some parts of the offense. This team just feels like the roster is set at the beginning of the season, and aside from emergency add-ons, nothing happens to it. It's really weird. We see a lot of teams that have big aspirations make mid-season, beginning season, end the season, adjustments the whole time. That's not what happens here. It's just stock up at the beginning of the season, if at all, and then try and make it at the long trek of the 16, now 17 game regular season. And it just strikes me as odd. It always has with the Telesco era, and weird things get unaddressed. So
That's definitely one thing I'd like to see change, but probably won't. And the Herbert era will be much worse off for it, just exactly like the Phillip Rivers era was. And I'm not to say that he doesn't pick up key free agents and things like that. That's not exactly the case at all either. It's just there's the free agent signings are rare in between and weird when they get there. And I mean, a defensive free agent signing hasn't worked out since Dwight Freeney.
All in all, this season is not lost, but it is kind of close to being so. Bolt fam, we've got to stay strong. Even with key injuries, the Tide can still turn around with a lot of the talent that's on this roster, and we've proven ourselves to be able to move the ball and make stops in certain times, but certainly not consistently enough. Monday night's game took the wind out of my sails for sure, because it really looked like we're regressing back to 2013. And while I love that year, the Bolts didn't win the damn Super Bowl, so let's not do that. I've dreamed and imagined a world where I run the hell down the street of my hometown in celebration of a Super Bowl of this team, and while I'm halfway across the country from there, I can still do it in Florida, damn it. So let's see it, boys. No shot the Rams are going to be the staple point in LA. It has to be the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles. It just has to be. If you have made it this far, then you're a true fan, that's for sure. I really appreciate the support, and I'm going to be doing some Chargers videos. If you'd like them more frequently and these pick up, I will probably do some more, but ideally I'm going to be doing 6 to 12 a year, some off-season, some main season, ideally postseason, and obviously celebrating when they turn it around and win the Super Bowl this year and the following few years. So, thank you very much for watching. Till next time.